By September, most gardens start fading, but these 13 perennials are just getting started. They keep blooming, attracting pollinators, and bringing stunning color when everything else begins to disappear. 13. Russian sage is one of those plants that seems to get better as summer gets hotter. When other flowers begin looking tired, its tall stems are covered with small lavender blue flowers that can keep the garden looking fresh well into fall. One of the biggest mistakes gardeners make with Russian sage is treating it like a thirsty flower. It actually prefers well-drained soil and plenty of sunlight. Once established, it's remarkably tolerant of heat and dry conditions. Give it a sunny location with good drainage, and avoid keeping the soil constantly wet. Too much moisture can lead to weak growth and root problems. You can also cut the plant back in late winter or early spring to encourage fresh, compact growth for the coming season. And there's another reason to love it. Those tiny flowers are attractive to bees and butterflies. So if you want a plant that can handle summer heat while still giving you beautiful late-season color, Russian sage is an excellent choice. But the next plant brings something completely different, a burst of golden color that can make a fading garden look alive again. 12. Black-eyed Susan is almost impossible to ignore when it's in full bloom. Its bright yellow petals and dark centers create the kind of classic summer to fall display that works in almost any garden. The great thing about this perennial is its toughness. Once established, it can handle plenty of sun and periods of dry weather, making it a reliable choice for gardeners who don't want to constantly monitor their plants. But there's one mistake you should avoid. Don't assume that more fertilizer automatically means more flowers. Excessive feeding can encourage lots of leafy growth without necessarily giving you the best flowering display. Instead, give Black-eyed Susan a sunny location, reasonable soil, and consistent care while it's getting established. Deadheading spent flowers can also encourage additional blooms and keep the plant looking tidy. However, consider leaving some seed heads later in the season. Birds can feed on the seeds, and the dried stems can add winter interest. And if you like flowers that return year after year without demanding constant attention, the next one deserves a spot on your list. 11. Japanese anemone is one of those perennials that seems to wait until everyone else is finished before taking center stage. Its elegant pink or white flowers rise above the foliage in late summer and early fall, creating a soft, almost floating appearance in the garden. But don't make the mistake of planting it in a spot that becomes bone dry during hot weather. Japanese anemones generally perform best when they have evenly moist soil, particularly while they're becoming established. A location with morning sun and some protection from intense afternoon heat can work especially well in warmer areas. Give the plant enough space because established clumps can become quite substantial over time. Once happy, Japanese anemones can provide a beautiful late-season display year after year. They're especially useful in mixed borders where you need something to fill the gap after early summer flowers have finished. And because the flowers rise above the foliage, they add height and movement without making the garden feel crowded. But now we're moving into plants that don't just survive September, they practically announce that fall has arrived. 10. Sedum autumn joy is almost built for the transition from summer into fall. Early in the season, its thick green leaves provide structure. Then, as late summer arrives, clusters of tiny flowers begin opening. They often start with soft pink tones before developing deeper shades as the season progresses. One mistake to avoid is overfeeding it. Sedum generally doesn't need heavily fertilized soil, and excessive fertility can encourage tall, floppy growth. Instead, give it plenty of sunlight and well-drained soil. This is especially important because its succulent foliage stores water, allowing the plant to handle relatively dry conditions once established. And here's something gardeners sometimes overlook. Don't rush to cut the flower heads down when they fade. The dried heads can continue adding structure and interest into fall and winter. They're also valuable to pollinators when many other flowers are disappearing. If you want a low-maintenance perennial that looks good before, during, and after flowering, Sedum autumn joy is one of the easiest choices you can make. Or what if you want something that creates an entire cloud of flowers instead of a few large blooms? That's where our next perennial comes in. 9. Boltania is one of the most underrated late-season perennials on this list. Sometimes called false aster, it produces masses of small daisy-like flowers that can create the appearance of a white or lavender cloud floating above the garden. It's useful when your landscape needs height and late-season color at the same time. One of the biggest mistakes is putting Boltonia in too much shade. Without enough sunlight, it can become and stretched with fewer flowers. Give it a sunny location and enough room to grow. Depending on the variety and conditions, it can become, so it's often best positioned toward the back of a border. If your plants tend to flop, a light trim earlier in the growing season can encourage a shorter, bushier shape. And because Boltonia flowers late, it can provide for pollinators at a time when many early season flowers have already disappeared. It doesn't have the flashy reputation of some garden favorites, but that's why it's worth considering. Now let's move to a perennial that proves you don't need giant flowers to create months of color. 8. Coreopsis. Coreopsis is the kind of perennial you can plant once and quickly understand why gardeners love it. Its cheerful yellow and gold flowers can continue appearing throughout the summer and into early fall, especially when spent blooms are regularly removed. And that's one of the simplest tricks for getting more from this plant: deadhead it. Instead of allowing every flower to go straight to seed, remove faded blooms to encourage the plant to keep producing new ones. Coreopsis also appreciates plenty of sunlight and can tolerate heat and relatively dry conditions once established. That makes it especially useful for sunny borders where other plants may struggle. Another advantage is its value to pollinators. Bees and butterflies frequently visit the flowers, adding movement and life to your garden. Just remember that even drought-tolerant plants need water while they're getting established. Don't mistake drought tolerance for never needing water. Once the roots are established, however, Coreopsis becomes one of those dependable performers that can keep giving you color with very little fuss. But if you're looking for something dramatically bigger, our next plant produces flowers that can make almost everything around them look small. 7. Hardy Hibiscus. Hardy Hibiscus might be one of the most dramatic plants in this entire list. Its flowers can become enormous, sometimes approaching the size of a dinner plate, and they can completely transform a late summer garden. The funny thing is that this plant can look almost dead when it's first starting its spring growth. Hardy Hibiscus is often one of the last perennials to emerge, especially in cooler climates. That's why one of the worst mistakes you can make is giving up on it too early. Be patient. Once it begins growing, give it plenty of sunlight and consistent moisture. It prefers soil that doesn't dry out completely during hot weather. A layer of mulch around the base can help maintain soil moisture, but keep the mulch away from direct contact with the stems. And when those giant flowers finally open in late summer, the wait suddenly makes sense. Hardy Hibiscus is especially useful as a focal point because you don't need dozens of plants to make an impact. One healthy plant can become the centerpiece of an entire border. 6. Joe Pye weed. Joe Pye weed may have an unfortunate name, but don't let that stop you from considering it. This tall perennial is a powerhouse for late summer gardens. It produces large clusters of pinkish-purple flowers that can attract butterflies and other pollinators when many other plants are beginning to fade. Its height is one of its greatest strengths. Rather than placing it at the front of a border, use it toward the back, where it can rise above shorter plants and create layers in the landscape. Joe Pye weed generally appreciates moisture, especially while it's establishing and during periods of intense summer heat. So if you have a naturally moist area of your yard where other drought-loving plants struggle, this could be a much better match. It also works beautifully in a more naturalistic or wildlife-friendly garden. And here's the important part. Don't try to make every garden bed look perfectly manicured. Some of the best pollinator gardens are filled with plants that move naturally in the wind and provide different heights and textures. But our next plant is even more unusual, and its flowers have a shape that gave it its name. 5. Turtlehead. Turtlehead is one of those flowers that makes visitors stop and ask, "What is that?" Its unique blossoms resemble the head of a small turtle, which is where the common name comes from. The flowers typically appear in late summer and can continue into fall, giving your garden a fresh source of color after many early-season perennials have finished. But turtlehead isn't the right plant for every location. One common mistake is putting it in extremely dry soil and expecting it to thrive. Turtlehead generally prefers consistently moist conditions, making it an excellent choice for rain gardens, pond edges, or naturally damp areas. It can tolerate some shade, but providing adequate light helps encourage stronger flowering. And those unusual flowers aren't just interesting to people. Bumblebees and other pollinators can visit them as well. Pair turtlehead with ferns, grasses, or other moisture-loving perennials, and you can create a beautiful late-season planting that feels natural rather than overly formal. Now, if you want a flower bed that looks like it's on fire with autumn color, the next perennial is one you don't want to miss. 4. Helenium. Helenium, often called sneezeweed, is a late-season color machine, and despite the name, it isn't responsible for the majority of seasonal allergies. In fact, its flowers are an excellent source of nectar for pollinators. The blooms come in warm shades of yellow, orange, red, and bronze, making them perfect for the transition from summer into fall. One thing gardeners sometimes overlook is the importance of moisture. Helenium performs best when it receives consistent moisture rather than being allowed to repeatedly dry out. It also benefits from full sun. If mature plants become crowded, dividing them can help maintain vigor and flowering performance, and removing faded flowers can encourage additional blooms during the season. Helenium looks particularly good when planted in groups instead of scattered randomly throughout the garden. A mass of warm-colored flowers can create much more visual impact, and there's something special about seeing these fiery blooms while the temperatures begin to cool. They make the garden feel like it's changing seasons instead of simply shutting down. 4. We're not finished yet. The next perennial is one of the classic signs that fall has arrived, and pollinators absolutely love it. 3. New England Aster. New England Aster is one of the stars of the autumn garden. When many summer flowers are disappearing, this perennial can produce masses of purple, pink, blue, or reddish blooms with bright yellow centers. It's not just beautiful, it's incredibly useful for pollinators. Late-season flowers are important because bees and butterflies need food sources as they prepare for colder weather. Asters can help fill that seasonal gap. But there's one problem to watch for: poor airflow. When asters are planted too tightly together or surrounded by dense vegetation, humid conditions can encourage powdery mildew. Giving plants enough room for air movement can help keep the foliage healthier. You can also pinch the stems earlier in the growing season to encourage a bushier shape and more branching. Just don't wait too late to do it, or you may accidentally remove developing flower buds. Once September arrives, a mature New England aster can completely change the look of a fading garden, and when paired with golden yellow flowers, the contrast is incredible. Speaking of golden yellow, our number 2 perennial brings one of the brightest colors of fall, and it's often misunderstood. 2. Goldenrod. Goldenrod deserves a much better reputation than it usually gets. For years, many people have blamed this bright yellow flowering plant for fall allergies. But goldenrod is not typically the main culprit. Its pollen is relatively heavy and isn't easily carried through the air like the pollen from ragweed. And while goldenrod is blooming, it's doing something incredibly useful, feeding pollinators. Its golden flower clusters can provide nectar when many other garden flowers have finished. Garden varieties are also available in forms that are much better suited to cultivated landscapes than some aggressive wild types. Give goldenrod plenty of sun and well-drained soil, and many varieties will require surprisingly little attention once established. But here's the combination I especially recommend: goldenrod with purple asters. The golden yellow and deep purple create an amazing contrast, and together they can turn a tired September border into one of the most colorful areas of your yard. But we've finally reached number 1, and if you want a perennial that can deliver a huge burst of fall color, this one is difficult to beat. 1. Hardy Garden Mum. Garden mums are practically the grand finale of the perennial garden. Just when summer flowers are finally slowing down, mums can explode into bloom with masses of yellow, orange, bronze, red, pink, purple, or white flowers. And here's the important distinction. Not every mum sold in fall is equally reliable as a long-term perennial. Short pause. If you want mums to return year after year, choose varieties suited to your climate and plant them early enough for the roots to establish before winter. Give them plenty of sunlight and well-drained soil. Another useful trick is pinching the growing tips earlier in the season. This encourages branching and can result in a much fuller plant covered with more flower buds. But don't keep pinching too late. Once the plant starts setting flower buds, leave it alone so you don't delay the display. With the right variety and proper care, hardy mums can provide a spectacular final show when many other perennials have already finished. And that's exactly why they earned the #1 spot. They're not just surviving September. They're making September look beautiful.